Erik Satie wrote some of the most tender, quiet music ever composed, and yet, the man himself lived like someone who had shut his heart behind locked doors. No family, no close friends, no emotional confessions. Just routines, umbrellas, identical suits, and silence. Was Erik Satie emotionally frozen by choice, or was this what survival looked like for him? Today, we're exploring the life of the loneliest composer in Paris, a man who seemed to live like a ghost long before he was one. Satie's story begins in Normandy, born in 1866. His world was shattered early on when his mother died. His father remarried quickly, and young Erik was sent away to live with his grandparents. Imagine being a child, losing your mother, and then being removed from your home in quick succession. This wasn't just a sad childhood. It was a lesson in emotional instability. Satie learned a brutal truth very early. Connection can vanish without warning. The people you love can disappear. For a child, the safest response to that kind of chaos is to withdraw, to build walls, to learn not to need anyone too much, because they might not be there tomorrow. This wasn't a choice. It was a survival skill he would carry for the rest of his life. The foundation of his emotional fortress was laid right here, in the quiet grief of a boy who learned that attachment was a risk. As a young man, Satie made his way to the prestigious Paris Concert, the very institution meant to nurture musical genius. But for him, it was a place of public humiliation. His professors labeled him talentless, lazy, and utterly incapable. They didn't see his unique vision. They saw a student who didn't fit their mold. An institution built on tradition has little room for a spirit that deviates. But Satie didn't rebel loudly. He didn't fight back or try to prove them wrong with dramatic flair. Instead, he simply retreated further inward. This wasn't an act of defiance. It was quiet resignation. It was as if he decided, if this is what it takes to belong, then I don't want to belong. He stopped trying to fit in. Not out of arrogance, but out of a deep-seated understanding that the world of grand artistic gestures was not for him. He quietly walked away from the expectations of others and began to build a world entirely of his own. In this solitary world, there was one brief, intense flash of connection. Her name was Suzanne Valadin, a painter and artist's model. They had a passionate affair that lasted only a few months. But when she left him, something inside Satie broke. He was utterly devastated, and here's the crucial detail that defines the rest of his emotional life. After Suzanne, he never pursued another romantic relationship again. For the next 30 years, he was alone. This wasn't bitterness or a dramatic vow of solitude. It was something quieter, something deeper. It was emotional closure. Some people grieve loudly. They mourn, they rage, and eventually, they move on. Others, like Satie, seemed to freeze the moment that broke them. He preserved that heartbreak, walled it off, and ensured it could never happen again. The door to his heart, once cracked open, was now sealed shut for good. From then on, Satie constructed a life built not on relationships, but on ritual. He moved to a tiny, single room in the working-class suburb of Arcueil, far from the artistic circles of Paris. His life became a metronome of routine. He walked the exact same route into the city and back every single day, no matter the weather. He was famous for owning a collection of identical gray velvet suits, wearing one until it was threadbare, then moving on to the next. He also amassed a strange collection of over 100 umbrellas. But the most telling detail was his room. For the 27 years he lived in Arcueil, not a single person was ever allowed inside. After his death in 1925, his friends finally entered. What they found was astonishing. Piles of unopened letters from friends and admirers. Stacks of unsent notes he had written to others. Drawings and writings no one had ever seen. Satie didn't lack emotion. He wasn't empty. He was overflowing. He just contained it all so tightly that almost none of it ever escaped into the world. His room was a physical manifestation of his inner life. A private, cluttered, and profoundly lonely space. This carefully controlled life is mirrored perfectly in his music. Think of his most famous pieces. The Gymnopodies, or the Nocians. They avoid climax. They avoid grand, sweeping gestures. There is no emotional excess, no dramatic confession of the soul. His music doesn't beg for your attention or demand to be understood. It simply exists, suspended in time, offering a moment of quiet contemplation. You could say, Satie composed the way he lived. Carefully, quietly, and with a profound sense of restraint. The unusual directions he wrote on his scores, like from the top of your teeth or like a nightingale with a toothache, weren't just eccentric jokes. They were a way of controlling the emotional interpretation, of keeping even the performer at a slight distance. His music was his only release. But even there, emotion was filtered, measured, and carefully presented. So, was Erik Satie emotionally frozen? I don't think so. He wasn't a cold, unfeeling man. He was protecting something incredibly fragile within himself. In a world of loud, explosive geniuses like Beethoven or Wagner, Satie chose a different path. He didn't erupt. He slowly, meticulously, sealed himself away from a world that had hurt him too many times. He built a fortress of routine and solitude, and from behind its walls, he sent out these strange, beautiful, and hauntingly lonely melodies. The man may have been a ghost in his own life, but somehow, against all odds, the music still found its way out. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in the hidden lives of great artists, consider subscribing for more stories like this. See you next time.